Let's be honest, Star Trek Strange New Worlds is the best thing since sliced bread. Yes, I said it. But seriously, exploring this era of the Trek universe has been fantastic so far. Additionally, spending more time with Captain Christopher Pike has been great. However, is a Star Trek the original series reboot coming soon, or a remake, or something along those lines? The original series has aged, but is the origin point for the franchise. Would Paramount actually do this? Strange New Worlds is introducing us to a handful of characters. Some of these have appeared in the original series before, therefore setting up a past, before they appear in later years. Additionally, Paul Wesley has been cast to play Captain James T. Kirk, the next captain of the USS Enterprise. However, does this mean we might get more than a cameo appearance from the legendary captain? Casting the actor is a big move, so is announcing him ahead of time. Of course, this is done for the fact Paul Wesley was seen filming on set with Strange New Worlds' Christina Chong, who plays Lan Noonien Singh. We've got theories of those two are doing right now coming soon. Stick around for that. Right, let's talk about the logistics of this reboot or remake idea. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack, and of course, let's get straight into it. But before we do that, if you warp into this video, you'll of course be created by me, but you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more. Hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. Okay, engage. The appearance of James T. Kirk in Star Trek Strange New World is something we were sort of expecting since the series announcement. However, is it too soon? Well, we don't know yet, as Kirk's background in this time period is not that filled out. Much like most of the characters of TOS we've already seen, the series of Strange New Worlds has given us the chance to explore the characters before they'd later appear in the Star Trek universe. Kirk's arrival now means we have the main character of Star Trek the original series. It was announced in March 2022 that actor Paul Wesley was joining the cast of Strange New Worlds to play James T. Kirk in the show's second season. Additionally, this announcement followed Wesley and Christina Chong being spotted on location filming in Canada, as we mentioned earlier. So, we've now got an actor for Captain Kirk, meaning the door is open to tell more stories with this character. Right now, it does appear that Kirk might just be a cameo in the upcoming season. However, maybe not. Perhaps he'll appear as a part of the season final or two-part cliffhanger for season 1 into season 2. Kirk's upcoming arrival in the series may be coming sooner than we think as well, especially with the penultimate episode just gone by. While many think Kirk's appearance is perhaps just this cameo, it does appear we might be seeing even more of him in the upcoming second season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Recent interviews have pointed out that cast members have been filming with Paul Wesley, and excitingly looking forward to having Kirk hanging around with them. Items will change the story does remain unknown right now. So with Captain Kirk, assembling the original series crew has essentially begun. Technically it had already begun as we've got crew members from Kirk's Enterprise currently serving on board Pike's Enterprise underneath the good captain. If they are planning something to do along the lines of the original series, will they need to put the crew together? Well, we already have Mr. Spock played by Ethan Peck and her played by Celia Rose Gooding. Strange New Worlds has also given us Dr. Joseph Mbenga. The good doctor served on board the Enterprise under Captain Kirk as well. However, he would report later to the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Leonard McCoy, who's also someone we need to introduce. The sickbay does also have the inclusion of Nurse Chapel, who served on the Enterprise alongside Kirk and McCoy as well. Now, if we're going to do Star Trek the original series, a reboot, remake, or something with the crew, we're going to need some other characters. We also need to say goodbye to some of the current crew. However, the series may be setting itself up for that, more on that in a minute. Of course, we'll need Chief Engineer Scotty, Chekhov, Sulu, and of course Dr. McCoy. And perhaps we'll see them introduced via Strange New Worlds at a later date. What I mean by this is one of the popular theories for Strange New Worlds is to slowly build up a crew of what would eventually be Kirk's Enterprise. So perhaps in the second season, we'll see the introduction of another iconic character for the original series, therefore adding more to the upcoming crew. So let's talk about this. We're rebooting the original series. Well, before we get into this is a good idea or not, how would that actually work if it was the case? Well, look at it this way. Strange New Worlds is on a time limit. Captain Pike has to leave the Enterprise and hand it over to Captain Kirk at some point. This is established by Star Trek lore and can't be changed. Or can it? I mean, it could be if you wanted to change Pike's fate, but we know that's not the case and it has to go this way. Timeline-wise, Star Trek Strange New Worlds takes place in 2259. Captain Christopher Pike is currently commanding the Enterprise and will do so up until 2265. I hope I said 2259 earlier, you get my point. If I messed up the dates, whatever. Pike will eventually get promoted to Fleet Captain, as James T. Kirk assumes command of the Enterprise in his place. This leaves Strange New Worlds with about 5 years-ish of content. Now that's presuming that each season of the show takes place in the whole year and does what the Star Trek series traditionally do. However, we don't know what the plan is yet. 2 seasons could easily take place in the same year and not move another year on. That's if they wanted more movement for the series and such, which I don't know if they do right now. Establishing actors and actresses such as both Wesley and Gooding to play iconic characters allows the team to roll into a spin-off series if they so wish. Strange New Worlds is a spin-off of Star Trek Discovery, so it's not too hard to see the possibility of a spin-off series for a spin-off series. But would it actually work? Well, Star Trek TOS is firmly established as the origin point for Star Trek as a franchise. While the original series may start around the same time Kirk takes command of the Enterprise, I'd argue there's still room to do adventures with the crew. However, a reboot would need to navigate between certain key episodes of the original series. That, or they go with the option of recreating them, but that's not going to happen. Should that actually be an option, the legacy of Star Trek needs to be kept intact and not replaced, so no, that's not going to happen. I'll touch on whether this is a good idea or later in the video, so stick around for that. But let's quickly touch on the fan favourite theory right now, for what might be a correct step in the direction of a possible TOS remake or reboot. Okay, so rather than a whole new Star Trek series, what about a movie? This could be one option Paramount are willing to explore right now. Additionally, it seems the company are very adamant about still producing Star Trek on the big screen, even so that most of the projects have not been gotten off the ground in recent years. Sad times indeed. The Kelvin timeline Enterprise crew, which featured Chris Pine as Captain Kirk, are scheduled to return for Star Trek 4 later next year. However, this announcement by Paramount did come as a shock to some actors who hadn't started negotiations just yet, nor had the agents been contacted at the time of the announcement, so that already tells you how it's going. It's unlikely Paramount would also run 2 similar starred movies at the same time, they look too close. That said, there is room for a special movie or something along those lines. You could easily see a movie to welcome the TOS era at the end of Strange New Worlds. I'm confident there is room for something like that if Paramount wants it to be and wanted to use these actors such as Paul Wesley, Ethan Peck and Celia Rose Gooding, and the others. Hopefully Star Trek Strange New Worlds has many years left in it. We know it at least has 5 years if we're following the traditional Trek format. A second season is on the way as well. For a while now, Star Trek creators have been talking about a crossover idea or potential event. Perhaps this is something that builds into a vision they might have, crossing over the original series characters with other Star Trek characters, and that would be an interesting idea. So of course, rebooting the original series, or rather doing more things with that specific set of characters right now, would mean ending Star Trek Strange New Worlds. However, we also need to learn how certain characters leave the Enterprise, specifically why do they do so and where do they go? Well, we need the first part. I think the episode, The Elysian Kingdom, might explain Dr. M'Benga's eventual departure from the Enterprise, before working on Vulcan as has been stated in canon. Chief Engineer Hemmer would also need to depart somewhere. A fan favourite character could return home to Andoria, or perhaps just transfer to another ship. I mean, he could die as well, but let's be honest, we'll be on the picket lines if that happens. Do not touch my hammer. Imagine killing off a fan favourite character, who could do that? Star Trek can reverse deaths though, so if a fandom kicks up, we're looking at you, Dr. Culber. Additionally, you've got to see how Number 1 also departs the Enterprise. We know how Pike leaves, but Number 1 has also been absent in the Star Trek timeline so far. However, this might be possible for her past coming back to haunt her. We've already touched on it in Strange New Worlds already. Essentially, most of our characters have to have their backgrounds established. Some of these backgrounds could provide ways for characters to gracefully exit the series. Interesting thought. So, is an original series reboot coming soon? Honestly, we don't know. If Star Trek Strange New Worlds continues to introduce us to main characters of the original series, then yes, I'd say they're definitely up for something and there is room for a reboot, series or film taking place. Star Trek is doing well as a franchise right now, so it's the case of waiting around and seeing where things might go. Additionally, we do need to watch on how well Paul Wesley actually brings Captain Kirk to life. I'm gonna be honest, while the idea interests me, I don't think remaking or rather rebooting the original series is actually a good idea. Sure, sometimes sitting can work, but right now, no, I don't think it is. Also, the original series is such an important part of not just Star Trek lore, but the entire origin of the franchise. You can't change that or replace it. Not ever, I don't think. Sure, we can expand on it, there's nothing wrong with the expansion of respects to that material. I'd argue Strange New Worlds is doing that to some degree, so that's nothing wrong about it, it's fine. What do you think though? So that's our TOS remake idea. What do you think in the video comment section below? Let us know, because we're talking Star Trek, and of course we want to hear about it. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. And me. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. But for now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and of course, we'll see you very soon. Goodbye. Oh, and live long and prosper, that's what we say on this channel, isn't it? Good luck out there.